Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video for you. Uh, I'm going to go over how to create your 3D Lego character. Several different ways that you can create them. This is replacing the South Park project. We're still doing the project with a background, middle ground, and foreground. But instead of creating South Park characters like we've always done, we're going to go ahead and create Lego 3D characters. Now, this video is probably going to be a couple parts. The first one is just basically to create the two main parts of your character, the head and the body. And then I'll come back and I'll do a video for you on how to create a face for your character and how to map it on the 3D element that you've created. So here, let's go ahead and get started. I've already got Adobe Illustrator open, like you can see. I'm going to go ahead and go up to File, and I'm going to do New Document. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll create it as a print document. Your options over here, let's go ahead and name it. Mr. Peterson, Lego 3D. But you've got a choice here on your units of increment. had a dump there for a second. We can do it in points. That makes your background awful small. Same with picas. I'll go ahead and default to inches. Click it to inches. The orientation for this, because we're doing a landscape background, middle ground, and foreground, we need to go ahead and set the orientation of the page to landscape. This little character here, you can see the portrait. Like I always go through this process. Portrait is the vertical one, taller. The landscape one is the wider. Still same character, but you see less of the character. And then don't worry about bleeds. Go ahead and keep it in CMYK color mode. High 300 PPI raster effects, and nothing else. Just go down here to go create. So now here's your artboard. Now, one of the things that we're going to need to open before we get started is we're going to need to open up our color swatches. Mine's over here on the panel over here. If you've forgotten how to find your color swatches, just open up Window at the very top, scroll down, and we're going to go all the way down to swatches. We're going to turn that on, and you've got this. And just tear that off. We've got the swatches, and these are your CMYK colors, but we need to open up a new library. Now, to get to the libraries for the color swatches, we go right up here to the hamburger stack, these three lines, and we click on that, and we get a drop down. Okay, we get a drop down, new swatches, new color groups, duplicate swatches, all of this other stuff. But we need to go down right here to the bottom and go to Open Swatch Library. And we get a flyout on the side. And what we want to look for, because we're doing a character, we want to look for the skin tone color swatch, color library. Click on that, and this is what you get, skin tones. Now, you see it stops there, But if we stretch it out, now you've got all kinds of different flesh tone colors that you can choose from for your fill and stroke. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set that right there. Another tool that we need, and I've already got it open, is appearance. We're gonna rely on this a lot after we build our 3D character. Okay, we'll have to come back to this. We'll make adjustments to the 3D effect that we apply, and we will come back to it to help us map our artwork. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just slide it up here to that skin tones and make sure I get that little blue bar, and now they're docked together. I also need the symbols. I'm going to go ahead and get this all set up right now. Symbols is the little club character. If you don't see it, go to your window up at the top, go down to symbols, click on that, and this is what your symbols palette's defaulted to. Okay, it's got a blue bar, a splat, an orange, a flower, a swirly thing like on the gyro sketch, and trim marks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that and put that down right here at the bottom of this whole stack that I've kind of created now. I'm setting up my work area so that it helps me out. I may need this, but I'm just going to go ahead and dock it over here to the side. I'll dock it right. Gotta see where I'm docking it. Dock it right there. Close the strokes. And I'm going to dock this down here too. There. All right, so I've got my work area kind of set up. So now, let's start. All right, I'm gonna go right over here, and this is we're gonna rely on our shapes. Okay, just a real quick demonstration. Nah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take and hold down on the belly button lint, and I'm going to get my fly out for my shapes, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the rounded rectangle tool, and I'm just going to click and drag like that, and then that one. I'm going to go ahead and leave this like this. I'm going to do another rounded rectangle. Now this one is going to be a little bit smaller. And I'm going to set it right there. I'm going to use my arrow key down, and I'm going to get it to overlap to where this bottom part of the little rounded rectangle is over the big rounded rectangle. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take both of them, go up to my alignment tools, and I'm going to make sure that they're aligned horizontal center, making sure that this dot is in line with this dot. Now I'm going to use my Pathfinder tool. Should have had that one out. I'm going to use my Pathfinder tool with both those selected, and I'm going to make it one piece. So I'm going to unite them right here. Unite. Click. Now I can slide this off to the side again. Now you see that it's like that. Now what I need to do is I need to cut this, because we're going to do what we call a revolve, a 3D revolve. So what I need to do is I need to cut it. I need to go to the eraser tool. You can see that it's the eraser tool. It looks like a white pencil with a black eraser. And when you hover over it, it's going to get that little animation. I'm just going to click and hold on it, and I'm going to use the scissor tool. Don't use the knife tool. The knife tool doesn't work on something like this. So I'm going to get the scissor tool, and I'm going to go up to the top, and you see that pink line. That means that I'm aligned with the center of the element left and right. I'm going to go all the way up to the top, making sure that I keep that pink line visible, and I'm going to click. Basically what I've done is cut it right there. Now I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to get it lined up again with that pink line, and I'm going to cut again. Okay? Now, once I've got that, I've got to go to my selection tool, the black arrow, and you can see that the way this defaulted, it's picking the right-hand side. I want to go ahead and pick the left-hand side, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 3D effects tool, and I want to revolve it around this column right here. Okay? So, with this selected, I'm going to go up, and I guess I should do this first. I'm going to select my stroke color. I'm going to go down here to the bottom. I'm going to select the box with the hole in it, make sure that's out front. And then I'm going to go over here to my skin tone. And I'm going to pick whatever color I want. Whatever skin tone color I want. Let's go here. Now, you can't really see it with it still selected. Let me go and click off of it, and I'll slide over. And now you've got a skin tone color that I selected for the stroke. Okay, I gotta select it again because I've deselected it. Make sure I've got the bounding box around it, like that. Now, I'm gonna go up here to the top in my menu, all the way at the very top, and I'm gonna click on Effects, or Effect. And then I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna go to the 3D Materials. Okay, once I get there, I've got two basic different options. Okay, these 5 tools right here: the extrude and bevel, revolve, inflate, rotate, and materials. Those 4 are on the new version of the 3D materials. If I go down to 3D Classic, that's the old version of the 3D, and I'll show you both ways. So under the 3D Classic, you've got extrude and bevel, revolve, and rotate. I'll be honest, I'm still learning the 5 new tools. Kind of impressed with them right now. But I'm going to start off, and I'm going to do the 3D Classic, and I'm going to do the Revolve Classic. and I get this toolbar, 3D revolve option, it's classic. Off axis front, you've got a cube, you've got degrees of rotation. For this cube, you can go in and physically type in a number here and make this cube change its position. Right now, I'm going to leave it the way I've got it. Perspective, it says specify lens distortion, simulate 3-point perspective. I haven't really played around with it on the character that we're doing right now. We might be able to do that with the background if we wanted to. We want it to be a 360-degree angle, so all the way around. We want it to be a cap. If we did a turn cap off for hollow appearance, it would not look like a 3D character. Offset, left, we want this left edge. For this character, we want it to be on the left edge. You do have the option of doing right edge or other options. I'll demonstrate what happens if you get it wrong. We'll go with plastic shading right now. We'll come back to the map artwork in another video. More options, we could click on that, and this gives you your lighting effects. Can play around with that a little bit. Cancel, we don't want to cancel right now. And then we have the click OK. So I'm going to just go ahead and click OK. I know you saw this a little bit a few minutes ago when I started talking about it. But this is what happened. This is what got created. Okay. Now, I mentioned to you over a few minutes ago about the appearance panel. Okay? The appearance panel tells you a lot of information about your elements that you're designing. One, it tells you that it's a path. Two, it gives you the stroke color and the width of the stroke. It gives you the fill color. It gives you opacity. But look right here, it gives you the classic revolve. Now, it wasn't there. If I go down here and I'm just going to show you what I can do with it. If I click on it, it brings this panel back up. But if I've got it selected and I go down to the trash can, wrong panel. Go to there. Cancel. If I go down here to this trash can and delete it, you see that it took it away. Now I have to go back up to Effect. I'm going to go ahead and apply Revolve Classic. And now you look, and back here under Appearance, it's back. Okay? That's very important for this project. So we've created a revolve of what is supposed to be our head, and you can see that this is all one piece. I can adjust the size the way I need it. I can stretch it out. Now, be cautious. If I use, that's too squishy. If I use my selection tool and I spin this, watch what happens. I'm using the left edge. This is the left edge where we cut it. You notice that I didn't get it back in the same spot. So I've gotten this gray, or our fill color is starting to show through. If I take the rotate tool and I spin it around some more, now I've got a alien spaceship. Command Z, Command Z. But if I go over here to this 3D Revolve Classic, and I click on that, and I get my toolbar back, let's watch what happens now. If I take and I work with this cube, I'm gonna tilt that the same way I did with the rotate arrow, but look what happens. It kept my element design the way I want it. It just twisted it or tilted it to the left, going off of the cap of the. If I take this cube again and I go like this, and I go switch it like that, now, and I click OK, now it's twisted like that. Okay? So you're going to make adjustments where you're spinning it, getting it in a different angle, you're going to use the Revolve Classic. Okay? So now, I'm going to turn that off for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold the Option key down, and I'm going to make another copy of this. And then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to turn that back on so that we've got that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch it back up. I'm going to zero these out. That's how you can use that. I just typed 0, 0, 0, and it set it back. I'm going to click OK. Now here, I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to delete the 3D Revolve Classic. Okay? Now with this other one selected, now I'm going to go up here to the Revolve or 3D and Materials, and I'm going to use the Revolve tool that's right under the Extrude and Bevel. I didn't have to go in and tell it to do anything. Excuse me. I just clicked it. It gives me a different perspective view than this one did. But now I've got different tools. Here is the 3D and Materials tools. You see that what looks like a hunk of cheese with something cut out of it, right here, that's the Revolve. Okay, we told it that we wanted it to revolve. All your tools are here now. The revolve angle, the twist, taper, offset. We still have the option of doing the left or right edge. Let's see what it does. See, if I change it to the right edge, it's going to turn it into a cylinder. But go to the left edge, cap, I'm going to still leave it solid. These are preset angles. That's what's giving it this. Now, you see this circle target. This is where you're going to move things. So this is a little bit easier. You've got control right on your element. Okay? It's going to still revolve around this left angle. Look at how the lighting has changed just by doing that. We can spin it just about all the way around 360 degrees. Okay? So you got a little bit more control. I'm learning more and more about the new version of the 3D. Okay? But you do have to be kind of careful. The way it looks, you have to click and let go, click and let go, and then I think, nope, don't do that. Remember, there. Click on the outer part of the circle and you can get it to balance up again. All right, so we've got the head of our Lego dude. Now, let's make the body. Okay? Instead of a revolve, we're going to do a bevel. I'm going to go ahead and select a rectangle. I'm going to click like this, and I'm going to make it kind of tall. And instead of it being flesh tone, I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick a classic color, and I don't know, I'm going to make Spider-Man or a Batman. Let's go Spider-Man. I'm a Marvel. So I'm going to give it a red stroke for the color of the stroke. Now, what I'm going to do is leave this as a rectangle, and let's give it a little bit of a rounded corner. Command Z. Let's use our white arrow tool. Select that corner. Give that a rounded one. Give this one a rounded one. And then I'm going to go back, click off of it. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to pinch this in to give it kind of a torso shape. Okay? Now, with this built like this, I'm going to go up to the effects, go back to 3D materials, and let's go to extrude and bevel. Same kind of options down here. Extrude and bevel classic. Extrude and bevel. Let's see what this does. Okay. Now look at this. The stroke is red, but the inner part is white. So with that still selected, I'm going to go over here to my rocker arrow, and I'm going to change it. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go like this. Double click it, and we're going to go with a darker red for the shadow. Okay. Now, here's where we have to play around with this new version. We have to give it some more depth than 4P. This slider gives us that option. We gotta watch how we're doing that, and let's get this kind of like this, like that. And what we may have to do is just play with it and get it up to the head. Maybe we want the character to be looking off this way, but you notice, just like in all of our other designs, I need to pay attention to where I am stacked on my layers. The body is out in front of the head. So I'm going to go up to Object, Arrange, and I'm going to send it to the back. Now I can move it like that. Okay, now with this still selected, you notice that the head and the body aren't really looking that great, and we've got more body out and back. So with that selected, I can adjust my depth. Let's see what, by using the numbers, let's go down one. Maybe down 2. You can see that it's coming out in the front a little bit more, and there's a little bit behind it. So now maybe what we have to do is we have to go back to the head, shrink it a little bit, and there. Now let's zoom out. It's going to take some practice. Okay? It's still going to take some practice. We still need to get this kind of in the proper perspective. Let's move this over here. Select that. Go up to the top. Zoom that down. Shrink it down. Maybe we need to kind of tilt it down a little bit. Nudge it back. See, that looks a little bit better that way. Okay? You're going to use you can use the revolve tool for the arms. I would use the bevel tool for the legs. One of the things, here's something that I kind of figured out. Let's make the hand. I'm going to do an easy way to do that. Show you an easy way. I'm going to go to the letter T, text. And I'm going to go up into my fonts, and I'm going to look for something that's kind of biggish, bold. Let's try Arial Black. I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw a text box, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to type the letter C. Okay? Now, I want that to be kind of a big font size. Let's try 60. All right? Now, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to select the same skin tone color as my fill. Okay? Now, what I have to do is I have to go up to type, and I have to create outline. I have to change it from a font, because I can go in now, highlight it, and change it. Okay? Command Z, back to C. I have to change it from a type element to an outline. So I'm going to have the text box selected. I'm going to go to type, and I'm going to create outline. Now what that has done is it's changed it to an element. I also need the stroke color to be the same color. Okay? Now, I'm going to go here to the extrude. And I'm just going to click off like that. I use the letter C to create the hand. Now, I can change it to however I need it. So now we've got the hand. All right? Hope this helps. Come back in a few minutes for the mapping of the artwork.